the HOA can always either try and collect themselves, or use a collection agency, or use an attorney to try and collect those funds. Now, of course, like any other entity that is going to collect, they have to make sure that they don't run afoul of the the credit acts that are federally and statewide mandated. Most of them are federal in nature, so that the HOA doesn't run afoul of any kind of harassment laws or just any of the collection laws that are in place. But typically the associations will have at least some plan in place, even if they're informal plans. And so they will notify the owner and say, look, you're delinquent. You need to catch up, or we're going to turn this over to our counsel or to the collection agency. If that doesn't work, then they will a lot of times send the collection file to an association attorney such as myself, and then we submit a demand letter. And if it's an HOA, by law you have to give them 45 days, the owner, to pay the amount of the delinquencies plus any late fees, interest, and attorney's fees that have accrued based upon that delinquency. If they haven't paid within the 45 days, then you send another 45 days, or counsel sends another 45-day notice saying that we are going to lien the property, and we provide a copy of the lien that will be filed, even though it hasn't been recorded at that point. And then if that hasn't been paid within 45 days, then the HOA has a right to foreclose on that property. And it doesn't matter if it's homestead or not. And in Florida, you can plead in the alternative, so you can actually, the association can file account in the same lawsuit to foreclose and file account for monetary judgment, and then kind of pick prior to the, what's either called the summary judgment or the trial on which route they want. So if they want a monetary judgment for the amount of the delinquencies, they can get that and try and collect that against the owner, whether that's personally owned or owned by a corporation or an LLC or some other legal entity, or it will go to a final judgment, and the judge will set it for a judicial sale. And if another party buys it, then the association gets their money plus all their other fees that they're owed, the interest, attorney's fees. If nobody else bids that amount, then the association takes over the property, and they can rent it, they can sell it, they can treat it like any other owner would treat it, as long as they follow the rules within their governing documents. So that's kind of the steps and collections for an HOA.